Hello, spiritual seekers. It's Linda Crea with Embrace Your Spiritual Side Facebook group and LindaCrea.com and my new book. All right, so my story is spiritual recovery, and in that book, it uses a lot of the law of attraction, which I learned years ago. And I put this together recently. I want to talk to you about the placebo effect. So in clinical trials, they'll take a clinical trial for, say, a new drug for something, and they'll take a group of people and they'll divide them up, and a certain amount of the people, say a third, will get a placebo. So, and that's a pill that's just made of sugar. It's nothing real. But the people, the participants in the study don't know that they're getting the placebo, and I would assume they imagine they're getting the real drug. So their mindset is that this thing's going to work to cure them of whatever's ailing them. So the placebo, if there's a lot of people that cure or have some healing effects, are too many. So if there's too many of the 1/3 of the participants that heal from the placebo, the drug is a failure, because they're assuming that what's the point of the drug, because if they're going to heal with their minds, the drug is no good. So anyway, there's lots of ways to think about that. But my point here is just to show you how powerful of a healing tool our brains really are. And that would be affirmations and my type of healing, because if you block my energy healing, nothing's going to happen. It's a waste of my time. Okay, and you're allowed to do that as a human being. You can block whatever you want. So if more of us learned to do it, it would be better, because then we wouldn't take on so much bad stuff. So anyway, but this placebo effect really has me excited, because it makes the law of attraction, which is a law or a universal law like the law of gravity, that I want to teach you more and more about, because it's so important, our mindset on how healthy we are while we're alive. This is birth and death, alive, that's the box, birth and death. And all in between there, we can be healthy every day. It has to do with a lot of things: our social environment, our physical bodies, what we put into it, what we do with our lives, and our emotional state of well-being. Okay? So, and what God has given us, and then what we can do with it. So, or God, or the all, whatever you want to speak of it as, that divine loving energy force that we were created from. Okay. So the placebo effect, a little more on that. So Dr. Wayne Dyer, I was listening to one of his repeats, and I read his book a couple years back, and it said in it that they did this trial, and this is just amazing. So I guess at Michigan State or somewhere, they were doing a test, and they had, we'll just say one person in a room, and they were coming up to them with this hot needle. It was hot, and they would touch the person with it, and the skin would give a little bump, okay, because it was hot, and heat on the skin makes rashes and bumps and blisters. So they do it to him like 3 times, and then they tried something neat. They put a blinder on him, and then they said, okay, we're going to do it again. So they came up to him, with the hot poker again, and maybe he felt the heat of it, and I'm just saying he, but I don't remember what it was, the person's gender. So they're taking the poker, and maybe the person can feel the heat off the poker come, but when it came time to touch him, they used the tip of a pencil. And guess what? His skin blistered, and it wasn't hot. So that was, the person's brain was already wired that this is how it was going to be. So it did it. It did it, and he made it happen. He willed it to happen with his mind. Okay? And will maybe is not the right word, but it happened. He created a physical response to a mental train of thought. The placebo effect is very strong. When you think something's going to happen, it happens. It could very well happen. And that's the law of attraction. All right? This is so important to your health, to your life. And that's why it's a huge part of my book, huge training. The whole back section is dedicated to getting you into that mindset for miracles and blessed outcomes in the book, but it can help you in so many other areas of your life. So the law of attraction is a law, and it states whatever you think, again, with that brain cells of ours. And Deepak Chopra goes on with all sorts of books about brain health and the power of this brain, okay, for our physical well-beings. So if you put a thought in your mind, and it's a positive one, and you just imagine that that's the truth, the reality, and you can actually get excited about what you're thinking. Okay, so you're thinking a positive thought, heart chakra and above, it will come back to you. You have to have 100% belief that it will happen, and it will happen. That it will be done. That's how your unbending intent that this is going to happen. Get excited about it, like your placebo effect. Like you're so excited that this is going to work, it'll work. All right? So you have to get into that place of feeling excited about the outcome, and it will work. It's your choice, always, to play with this concept and see if it could be true for you. Okay? And that's affirmations, our simple little affirmations that are just sweet and loving and darling, and maybe don't take them seriously. If you can love yourself to better health, you can implant into your conscious and subconscious these affirmations, which are so powerful if you do them every day and make them who you are. And then you are the placebo. You are, your whole world becomes what you want the outcome to be. Okay, so I want to leave that with you today, and I hope it helps some of you. And when my book comes out, My Story, A Spiritual Recovery, and I think I'm switching that around, A Spiritual Recovery, My Story is second, and then how to use a medical manual and the law of attraction in your mind to have a blessed outcome from surgery. But it can change your whole life adopting these practices. All right, so blessings to you. I love you. I want the best for all of you. And yeah, attract in what it is that you want. Blessings.